So there was a big article this last week from Fannie and Freddie that came out with national predictions of what interest rates are going to do next year. Now, obviously, take anything that you get with a grain of salt. They're predicting rates next year, halfway through the year, to be somewhere in the fours. Now, we've also had some articles that have said rates next year are still going to stay high about where they're at today. Now, today, you're seeing national averages tipping at about 7% nationwide. Now, there's some products out there where you can still get 5s and 6s, but like I said, there's so many programs. Credit score matters, the type of loan term you're on, and then whether you're doing fixed rates or adjustable rates, you're going to see variations for sure. However, the national 30-year fixed average next year is predicted in the fours. And then they're thinking then the next year after that, during the election year, right, is going to be a big year. And that's when a lot of predictions are rates could drop even more. So right now, if you're buying, a big thing to think about is you're probably going to refinance it in a year or two because rates are probably going to get lower than where they're at today. So don't be afraid to buy right now and say, I'm going to wait. Because if you wait a year, spend a whole year on rent, calculate your rent payments, you're not building any equity. And then if you wait and let's say prices don't really drop, what did you really save? So if you kind of think about it and break it down, a lot of people are like waiting for this perfect time, and there really isn't necessarily a perfect time. Yeah, if you can find a deal on a house. Yeah, if in some markets, but not every state or every city is going to see huge drops. You're just not. This is not going to be the big recession of '08. We're not going to have that again. People are like fearing people into that. Our world and our economy is at a whole different place than it was back then. There's been things in place to protect that. So don't be afraid to buy right now. Some people that just can't afford it, well, yeah, don't buy. If you're not in a financial place with no reserves in the bank at all, and your job is unstable, and you don't make very much, and you're going to be maxing yourself out, don't let a real estate agent or friends or family or a mortgage lender talk you into buying. Of course not. And even if rates were back down in the twos and rates were, or home prices were the cheapest they've ever been, you still shouldn't buy if you can't afford it. No doubt. But right now is not a bad time to buy. It's not. The numbers are out there. Yes, prices are a little high on homes, but there's no set numbers that there's going to be huge decreases. And even if there are at some points in time, if you got a good job, you can afford the payment, you love the area, you're going to be there for a long time. Rent is just a pure waste of money. Having a mortgage and having a piece of property and getting appreciation and getting equity into the property and one day leveraging that is way better off than a year or two of wasted rent, period. And you can challenge me on that, but I know the facts and I know the numbers.